coming to you raw and unscripted. Beaming across Ontario and beyond to places like Stouffville, Aurora, High Park, and Sarnia. This is the Real Hickson Real Estate Podcast. Whether you're listening on your commute or putting on your suit, whether it's your morning stroll or you're on patrol, you just finished prayer or dropped the kids at daycare, you're in the bar, your car, or listening with the bathroom door ajar, near or far, this is the Jess and Jarreau Show. We're grateful for flattery and prone to inaccuracies. This is your guide to Toronto culture, people, events, news, but most importantly, real estate talk. Hello guys, yes, we are back. It is Jarreau and Jess.
Hi guys.
Say hello. Now, where are we, Jess?
In our new house.
Jess, we're in our new house that we've talked about
for a year.
For at least a year.
Yeah.
Lots of dinner time conversations.
Yes.
I wonder what if, because all we had to look at was floor plans.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you stalking the Arthur Treasure Hill Homes other projects and trying to get an idea.
Yeah.
Just a lot of questions and not a lot of answers, hey?
But now we're here.
But now we're here. So this is it. This is the pad, and you talked about, hey, what if it's made some money, what if we sell in a year? How do you feel about that now, Jess?
No, we're not selling.
Not selling. We are not selling. We are staying here for a while. The move sucked.
It was hard.
It was tough.
We can relate much more to our clients.
Yes, we can relate to the clients. But look, as much as moving sucked, it is 100% worth it. The place is beautiful. You're going to see it, different pictures and stuff on our Instagram very, very soon. We put a lot of work and effort into the finishes.
Yeah.
Changed some handles, changed some lights.
Yeah, made it our own.
And look, I've moved 16 times in my life.
Yeah.
But every move's been worth it. It's all for a point. I moved with my parents. Part of that 16 was moving with my parents. But I learned when I was young that you got to make the moves in order to get ahead in real estate.
Yeah, for sure. A little bit of effort and stress, but it's worth it. This
Definitely
is
worth it.
The third property that I've owned.
Yep.
And it's always been an upgrade. So.
And just to plug some of our previous podcasts, we actually go through on one of the podcasts. You can find it yourself. Basically, how Jess and I, starting with Jess and me joining in later, how we where we started from, or where Jess started from, and
from 400 square feet to 1,800.
400 square feet, and now we're in 1,800 square feet with a basement with 12-foot ceilings, which is absolutely crazy. It's the tallest basement ceiling I've ever seen in my life. But it's all good. You can go check that out. It basically, it's all about stepping stone homes.
Yeah.
Putting
in the work.
You see Block TO people, I'm never going to be able to afford a home. It's like you're thinking about it the wrong way. Yes, that house, that rundown house on that $1 million plot of land is worth $1 million plus. And you can't afford that right now. But you have to start somewhere. Start with a 400 square foot unit. And each move is stepping stones.
Yeah.
And you eventually get to where you want to be.
And you don't always have to live in the house.
You don't always have to live in it. A great person once said, buy a unit, make sure you're in the market, and then go rent wherever you want. So that unit you don't have to live in the unit. It can be far out in the suburbs, somewhere just so you can get your foot in and go rent downtown if you want, if that's what gets you there. As long as you're in the market, because remember, what do we always say, Jess? You're never gonna outsave the market. I thought we had this down pat. I guess it proves that it is unscripted.
It's been a little while since we've done this.
It has. Okay, so speaking of which, it has been a busy summer. We apologize, guys. We try to get these out as much as possible. There's been a lot of things going on. We've been very busy. And then, of course, added with the move, and all that kind of stuff. So
The weeks just go by.
the weeks just go by. Now that we're more situated, I feel like we're going to get more of these out in time. But let's talk about what is happening in the market. Like, are we at the end of COVID? Question mark. Like, are we going back into lockdown one more time? How are things shaking up, Jess?
It's definitely not the end of COVID as we're seeing worldwide, but things are better around these parts.
Yeah, in Ontario at least, things are getting a lot better. The numbers have evened out, and the vaccination rates are up. Yeah,
the market is definitely still busy. People are buying.
Yep.
We just sold a condo yesterday.
Yep. People are still buying things. I think we saw a little bit of a slowdown.
Yeah. When kids finish school and people like finally get to breathe a little bit, July is always the dog days of summer.
Yeah, I mean, look, people were just, as long with the opening up of everything, the patios, the cottages, all that kind of stuff, people are doing a lot more and thinking less about kind of where they are. I think the cottage market's still on fire though, right?
Yeah, but international travel also opened up and people went to go see family that they haven't been able to see in the last 18 months.
Yeah, so generally, the July months of summer is just definitely a little bit slower. But again, like, it's still a seller's market for the most part. Like, it's still happening.
And will continue to be, I think.
Yep, and then as soon as immigration, starts to open up in the next few months, like by the end of the year, I think we're going to really see a jump in prices again. So, there is some markets where you miss the best opportunity to buy, but what is the second best opportunity to buy is now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's only going to get a little bit harder, I think. Okay, so let's launch into the topic of today, which is the seller's guide. We're just going to generally kind of go through the process so you can kind of understand. Maybe you've sold before and it's been quite a while. Every agent handles this differently. So we can only speak to how we handle things. But otherwise, if you've never sold before, here's a great guide on what you can expect when you sell your home. So let's start, Jess, with the preparation of the home.
Okay. Most importantly, getting the house ready for the market, which there's many things that a seller can do before we even get into the house.
Right. And what are those little...
Removing some excess junk. Decluttering.
I mean, I think it's a liberating process as well.
Yeah.
We've seen some of our clients...
Clean your closet.
Yeah. We've seen some of our clients like fill yard bins.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's still not enough sometimes.
If you've been in your house 20 years, as we all know, every year you accumulate more and more stuff and it really does add up. So
yep.
That first process of just getting rid of, broken furniture that you're just keeping in the basement for no reason.
Yep. Just clutter, really. We need to try and make clean spaces and clean surfaces.
Yeah, but we will help with that.
Part of it does go hand in hand with our staging service. Now, every home is a little bit different. Some homes need full stages. Obviously there's some vacant homes as well that really help to do full stages. And, we see virtual staging today as well, which is great. I think we personally believe in physical staging as well, just because it's nice to look at it in the photos and then you go there in person and it's kind of like
disappointment.
Yeah, and you know what? Especially in some condos, there is certain layouts that only work certain ways.
Yeah, you really need to see it.
And for a buyer, you kind of need to just spell it out for them.
Yeah.
Because their first question is going to be, where's the TV going to go? Where's the lounge going to go?
Question.
And maybe you set it up in a certain way and they like think of another way, but at the very least they can imagine themselves there. And that's actually the most important part of when buyers go to buy houses is themselves imagining them in the space.
Yeah.
So when it comes to decluttering, staging, all that kind of stuff, another important point is, like, we love your wedding photo from 1986.
With the puffy sleeves.
With the puffy sleeves. We love that for you. But you need to take that down because, again, we need to neutralize the space. We don't want to personalize it. Yeah. We love that Wayne Gretzky jersey you got on the wall, but take it down because we need to make it as neutral as possible. So if a Blue Jays fan comes in, they can imagine their
own.
their Alamar jersey up on the wall.
Yeah.
So, we work with that, and every house and every unit, every condo is a little bit different. Again, you might have fantastic staging ability. You might have fantastic furniture yourself. We've had a few clients in the last year that meet that criteria, and we don't really need to come in and touch a thing. But yeah, it's always important. Clean surfaces.
Yeah.
Decluttered.
Nice smell also is
Nice
very important.
smells. That's hugely important. We like to put a little perfume plug-in at the front door.
Yeah, people want, and that clean smell, like that freshly washed floor.
Yeah.
Smell. People
and
want to feel like it's tidy and clean, and
that's a massive thing.
yeah,
Like,
without even realizing that affects the mentality of a person in the house.
mm-hmm. Yep. You don't want to give them any reason to not like it.
Yeah.
And you can have a fantastically staged place, great layout, great lighting, but it either, if it smells like cigarette smoke, for example, or it just smells anyways, or they can see, little dust bunnies or whatever, like smudges on the wall, like magic eraser, that'll get rid of that.
Yeah.
You just want to give them the overall presentation.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
visual creatures.
Okay, so I think that kind of covers all of that. Now, when we go to list a home, Jess, what are we doing with it?
Well, it's going on MLS, multiple listing service. That's the main hub where other realtors are able to access the property and know that it is for sale. It's the open market, essentially.
So that's the first thing. We do hear stories of owners like selling it themselves, but it's never as effective as listing on an MLS. You immediately plugs into a whole network of third-party websites as well. So obviously you have all of the agents' eyes on the prize, and that's the first part. The second part is the information from MLS then distributes to all of the third-party websites. We're talking House Sigma, Zolo, Realtor.ca. Realtor.ca, if you are searching, is the best mirror to MLS. It is the public side of MLS. And then all the other third-party websites get their information from MLS. So MLS is always the most up-to-date. And
you're not a live listing if you're not on MLS.
Exactly. We like to utilize other avenues like Facebook Marketplace. We're always trawling for our own buyers and stuff like that. But basically, the point of it all, and this is the most important part, when you list your home on the market, you want to get as many eyes on that listing as quickly as possible. So online is the way to do that. We can say that we will letterbox drop a neighborhood if we have a listing coming up, create a bit of buzz. We obviously put the sign in. That creates a little bit of buzz as well in the neighborhood. And, that buzz probably lasts for about a week or two, depending on the listing and stuff like that. So, a few things that we do, physical as well, but for the most part, online it's the way to go. And if we can concentrate all of that interest, and get them all in the one spot, the best case scenario is for a seller is to get multiple offers.
Yeah. I mean, there was a time in my early career where people used magazine ads and newspaper ads and even TV spots.
Yeah, I mean, look, people are still looking at that.
It's just not as effective.
But people are still looking at those things, but the numbers are way, way, way down.
Yeah, the cost per person is way higher than the amount of eyes you can see on an online.
Now, we have a marketing team here at Hickson Real Estate, and the algorithms, people are very aware of the algorithms these days.
Yeah.
The algorithms that go into our audiences and retargeting ads, it's just so effective.
Yeah.
And everyone from 1-year-old to 99-year-old, they've all practically got a phone in their hand these days,
all times.
Or a screen in their face. Like it's always around.
Yeah, it's always.
And so it's just the most effective
reach.
billboard that we can imagine.
Yeah.
And our algorithms sort out the people that wouldn't be interested. We're talking like 18-year-olds are not going to see your house. So So
it's getting to the right clientele, not just everyone. It's actually targeted to specific.
Yeah, and again, this comes back to as many eyes as possible, but also in this sense, it's the right eyes in the shortest amount of time.
Yeah. Which has taken some efforts to get to that.
It's taken efforts, but it's a process. I mean, you have to build these algorithms. It's not something that initially happens, but thankfully we have a great marketing team. Shout out to Fidget Digital. Mm-hmm. And we get some really, really solid results. Okay, so what can people expect when it comes to showings?
Well, with COVID, showings have changed a little bit. We are definitely more safety focused than we were before.
Yeah.
I mean, these are good practices to have anyways.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you're coming into someone's personal space.
Yeah, so we're asking people not to touch any personal items. We leave the lights on.
Yeah, lights on, doors open.
So less contact. Obviously, there's the hand sanitizer. Everybody will be wearing masks.
Now, through our office, we actually utilize a lot of technology. One of those things is Broker Bay. And basically, each agent, they used to call into the office and yada, yada, right?
Make an appointment, yeah.
Make an appointment. Now, it's all done online. It's done through Broker Bay. And they actually have to sign a COVID form, a declaration. So, and then that lists all the agent's details. It's all very above board. It's all very safe and legitimate.
Yeah, and people know that if they're not feeling well, then it's not the time to come to the showing.
Exactly. I mean, agents have been very, very good.
And that should be continued practice after this. If you have a cold, you have the flu, then don't
I think, that makes sense. Agents, everyone has masks nowadays.
Yep.
Everyone's very cognizant of cleaning their hands, and we always leave little disinfectants and stuff. Mm-hmm. So showings, there is some protocols in place, but it's all quite very safe. And I think even after COVID's done, I think we're going to continue to do a few of these things, which is good practice anyways. And so what are the rules for showings, Jess?
Well, it depends on each seller. Each seller kind of makes up their own rules for them. If you have a small child and you don't want to have showings after they go to sleep, that's fine.
Right, or if you have a little cat or a dog.
Yeah, if you need to take the animal out of the house during showings, and then we accommodate for that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we prefer to have as open and loose rules for showings as possible time-wise, but we're very accommodating, and people do understand that everyone has specific lifestyles.
Right, and look, with a lot more people working from home, it is really worth it for you to get out of the house. Recently in the last year, of course, we've run into where there's showings and either the tenant's home or the owner has to be home, whatever, but please, please, please make it a point of getting out of there, because it's fine, but it's just creates a closed space for the buyers coming in.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
And, in some instances makes it a little bit awkward. I've found that if we've ever gone on showings ourselves, when people are there, we kind of just get in and out as quickly as possible, to be honest.
Yeah, and you can't have an open conversation about what you like or dislike about the house, and you can't talk money, and there's a lot of things that hold you back. So ideally, leave the home for the 30 minutes and come back after.
Yeah. Okay, and so vacant is obviously very easy.
Yeah.
And owner, you can leave. You'll get a notification, an email notification when there's showings. And the best owners are the ones that just accommodate every single showing possible.
Yeah, but we know that's not always the most realistic. You may work evenings, and you sleep during the day. There's different things, and we accommodate and tailor make this experience. For each
it's always going to be different. What if there's a tenant in there, Jess?
Well, then there are specific rules that need to be followed. 24 hours notice for all showings. Showings only between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, the tenant also can try to accommodate you, and you can have a discussion with your tenant specifically and work with them to make the process easier for everybody.
Yeah. We've had instances where I guess the best advice I can give you is, if you are a landlord, just please keep the best relationship you can with your tenant, because when it comes to things like this, it can the way that they deal with it can really affect how you sell the place. And we say there's 24 hours notice, only between 8 a.m. 8 p.m. But if you are in really good terms with them, they might accommodate you a little bit. Maybe there's some agents that want to come last minute, and yeah, it really helps to kind of move things along.
Keep open communication.
And at the end of the day, like, yes, it's an annoyance for them, but the more agents you get through the door, the more people seeing the unit, the quicker it's eventually going to sell. So
yeah,
it's in everyone's best interest to move things along. So when it comes to offers and commission, we'd love to be able to explain all this stuff here, but unfortunately there's just no hard and fast rule. And this is something that when you come to list your house, we can, again, go through all of this information, but we will tackle offers and commission and kind of what to expect, kind of on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
It's very hard to say that, yep, this is it, and that's it, because every
depending on your property, what the market is like at the time, what the neighborhood is like at the time, there's so many different ways we'd go about things.
Yep.
To make sure it's the best scenario and the best outcome for everybody.
Exactly. So there's a massive question that I'm sure some people are wondering. Do you buy first or do you sell first?
Ooh, that's, again, very market specific, and where your home is and where the home you're purchasing is. If you're looking for a very specific pocket and a very specific type of house, and they don't come out very often, you may need to jump on that house first and then sell.
Give yourself a nice
long
closing. Yeah. 90 days is not always ideal for people buying your house. But if you can get it, great, use it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if you're in a hot neighborhood yourself, then you would be a little bit more comfortable to put your house, like, buy first and then put your house on the market.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's all very market dependent, isn't it?
Yeah, and home specific.
And again, this is, something we have to go through on a case-by-case basis. Anything else you'd like to add, Jess, to the selling process?
No, I think, as we mentioned, this is it's all going to be a tailor-made experience for our sellers and what's happening in the market at the very time we're speaking, because things change, as we all know, in this market very quickly.
Yep. And again, there's no black and white. It's all very gray.
And that's why we're here.
We are the backstops to all of these factors and these variables. And that's, in our opinion, what makes a good agent is someone that's able to really pivot and really stay on top of things.
Yeah.
And
all of this stuff was new to all of us, and now we've going through COVID, and we've learned a lot.
We've learned how much more efficient a lot of this stuff can be.
Yeah.
Lawyers are all signing over Zoom now.
Yeah, we're docu-signing
everything, and it's just the way of the future.
Yeah.
By necessity. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening to our little seller's guide, and again, apologies for any noise that you may have heard in the background. We are still getting landscaped in the new subdivision where we are.
We're in the middle of a construction zone.
But please look out for some new content. We have some lovely shots of the new place we'd like to show you, and and we're going to keep bringing you all the latest news updates, market facts, the new listings coming out.
Yeah.
We're going to keep all the fun stuff. You can follow us on Instagram at Hickson Real Estate. The Facebook page, hit us up. Google business page, you can find us, no problem. And of course, listen to the podcast on all your favorite platforms. And if you have any questions at all, please start a conversation. Hit us up, hicksonrealestateteam @gmail.com.
Or DM us.
DM us, yep. DM us any way you'd like. We're always on social media, so we'll get back to you pretty quick. Even if you're very early in the process, even if you're just thinking about it.
We have a question.
Any question. You don't need to be like, okay, I'm ready to sell or I'm ready to buy. Just let us know, and we'll tell you where you are in the process. And then
we're always here for you.
We're always here for you guys. All right. Thanks so much for listening. See you next week, hopefully.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.